The crash of Air India Flight 171 sent shockwaves across the globe as news broke that the disaster had claimed the lives of 260 people on board. Families, friends, and entire communities were left in mourning, struggling to comprehend the scale of the tragedy. The world watched in disbelief as the story unfolded, with the loss resonating far beyond the borders of India. Miraculously, amid the devastation, there was a single survivor, a beacon of hope in an otherwise heartbreaking scene. The survivor's story would later become a symbol of resilience, but for most, the pain of loss was overwhelming. The timing of the disaster, occurring just minutes after takeoff, immediately raised red flags for investigators. What should have been a routine flight quickly turned into a global mystery, with experts and officials scrambling to determine what went wrong so soon after departure. Early findings from the crash site provided few answers. Instead of closure, they sparked heated debates and a flood of speculation. Was it a technical failure, human error, or something more sinister? The lack of clear evidence only deepened the sense of uncertainty and fear. The impact of this tragedy rippled through the aviation industry, prompting urgent scrutiny of Air India's safety protocols, Boeing's aircraft design, and the effectiveness of global aviation regulators. The world demanded answers, and the pressure to find them mounted with each passing day. But the search for truth is about more than assigning blame. It's about restoring public trust in air travel, learning from mistakes, and ensuring that such a catastrophic event is never repeated. The lessons drawn from this tragedy could shape the future of aviation safety for generations to come. As the investigation continues, the world waits for answers. The outcome will not only determine accountability, but will also influence how we fly, how we protect passengers, and how we honor those lost in the skies. The story of Air India Flight 171 is far from over. It is a turning point in the history of air travel. At the very center of this perplexing investigation lies a seemingly simple yet deeply troubling detail. Two fuel control switches located on the aircraft's control panel. These switches, often overlooked during routine operations, have now become the focal point of a global mystery. Both switches were discovered in the off position, having been manually turned, which abruptly cut the flow of fuel to the engines and led to their sudden shutdown. This was not a result of automation or a system error. Someone physically moved these controls. What makes this even more unsettling is that these switches are not easily accessible for accidental use. They are protected by safety covers and require a conscious, deliberate action to disengage. It's a design meant to prevent exactly this kind of scenario. Investigators, upon examining the cockpit, quickly dismissed the possibility of a simple mistake or a mechanical malfunction. Their attention shifted to a far more disturbing theory, that someone inside the cockpit intentionally turned off the fuel supply. The investigation's focus has now changed. The question is no longer about how the engines failed, but rather, why would anyone deliberately command such a catastrophic action? What could drive a person to make a decision that would endanger everyone on board? This single, chilling detail has shifted the entire investigation from searching for a technical malfunction to probing the realm of human behavior, motives, and intent. Every piece of evidence is now being re-examined through this new lens. Investigators are painstakingly reconstructing the final moments in the cockpit, analyzing every sound, every word, and every movement to understand what truly happened. The pressure is immense as the world waits for answers. Ultimately, the fate of Flight 171 and the truth behind its tragic end depends on uncovering what or who compelled someone to flip those critical switches and why. Only by understanding this act can investigators hope to bring closure to the mystery. The cockpit voice recorder, often referred to as the black box, is usually the key to unlocking the mysteries behind air disasters. It's a device designed to capture every sound, every word, and every critical moment in the cockpit, providing investigators with a timeline of events leading up to a crash. In most cases, this small but vital piece of equipment helps bring clarity and closure to even the most baffling aviation tragedies. But in this case, the voice recorder has only deepened the mystery, leaving investigators with more questions than answers. Instead of providing a clear narrative, it has become a source of confusion and debate. The device captured a tense and urgent exchange between the pilots. At a critical moment, one pilot can be heard questioning why the fuel switches were turned off, his voice edged with anxiety and disbelief. This moment, which should have shed light on the sequence of events, instead raises new doubts. Unfortunately, the recording is incomplete and ambiguous. Key segments are missing, possibly due to technical malfunction or damage during the crash. The gaps in the audio leave crucial moments open to interpretation, making it difficult to reconstruct exactly what happened in those final minutes. Both pilots, in the fragments that remain, seem to deny responsibility for the situation. Their voices overlap, each insisting they did not make the critical error. This has only fueled speculation and controversy, as experts and the public alike try to piece together the truth from incomplete evidence. Leaked snippets of the recording have circulated in the media, leading to premature blame, especially directed toward the captain. These leaks, often taken out of context, have shaped public opinion before the investigation is complete. This rush to judgment has drawn sharp criticism from pilot groups and aviation authorities, who argue that assigning blame without all the facts is both unfair and potentially damaging to the investigation process. Aviation experts warn that interpreting these audio fragments without the full context is not only dangerous, but can also be deeply misleading. They emphasize that a few isolated words or phrases cannot capture the complexity of what happened in the cockpit. The voice recorder, while crucial, is just one piece of a much larger and more complex puzzle. Its incomplete whispers raise more questions than they answer, reminding us that the truth is rarely simple or straightforward in aviation disasters. Only a thorough, synchronized analysis, combining the voice recorder with flight data, maintenance records, and other evidence, can reveal what truly happened in that cockpit. Until then, the mystery remains unsolved and the search for answers continues. India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau quickly released a preliminary report confirming the manual shutdown of both engines. Yet, the report's vagueness and lack of safety recommendations left families and experts frustrated. Investigators are exploring every scenario, from rare automation failures to electrical faults, but the focus remains on the human element. The process will be long, with every detail, wreckage, data, crew history, under scrutiny. Officials urge patience and warn against speculation, emphasizing the need for a thorough, unbiased investigation. The AAIB's findings will shape global air safety for years to come. In the absence of clear answers, theories abound, most disturbingly that a pilot acted intentionally. While this theory dominates headlines, investigators stress it remains unproven. Other possibilities include a rare technical glitch or a critical misunderstanding in the cockpit under stress. Human error, perhaps triggered by another emergency, is also under consideration. Experts remind us that air disasters are rarely simple. Often, a chain of events leads to tragedy. Only the final report can separate fact from speculation and reveal the true cause. The crash has put Air India and Boeing under intense global scrutiny. Air India's safety culture, training, and maintenance are being dissected for any lapses. Boeing faces pressure to rule out design or manufacturing flaws, even as evidence points to human action. Both companies must cooperate fully while managing public trust and reputational fallout. The investigation's outcome could force sweeping changes in procedures, technology, or oversight. The world is watching how these aviation giants respond to this crisis. The possibility of deliberate action has reignited debate over pilot mental health. Airlines are being pushed to improve screening, support, and destigmatization for pilots facing psychological stress. The investigation will scrutinize the pilots' backgrounds for missed warning signs. Pilot associations defend their members but acknowledge the need for robust mental health resources. Understanding the human factors is crucial to preventing future tragedies. The health of pilots is inseparable from the safety of aviation itself. The investigation will be long, with the final report expected in a year or more. Its main goal: provide answers and closure to grieving families and prevent future disasters. Authorities urge patience and warn against speculation as leaks and media frenzy threaten objectivity. The findings will influence global safety standards, training, and oversight. Investigators are committed to uncovering the truth, however complex. The legacy of Flight 171 must be lasting safety improvements, not just tragedy. Flight 171's crash is a turning point for aviation, demanding real change. Expect renewed focus on pilot mental health, with better screening and support systems. Cockpit design may evolve, adding safeguards to prevent catastrophic errors or intentional acts. Stricter protocols for handling sensitive flight data will likely emerge to protect investigations from media distortion. The true legacy will be measured by the safety reforms inspired by this tragedy. Every major air disaster has led to life-saving improvements. Flight 171 must be no different. Honoring the victims means building a safer, more resilient aviation system for all.